All right. Thanks for everybody for joining. Thanks to Microsoft Dynamics World for having us here on the financial showcase tools for Dynamics GP. I'm excited for this one. My name is Kevin Pritchard. I'm the head product owner over at Fidesic. And I think I've got some interesting updates from Fidesic and really the world of AP automation that I'm excited to share with you. So happy to introduce the new Fidesic, which is sort of built around AI from the ground up. And that's really what I'll be talking about here today. The kind of joke on this is that I talk to some potential clients and internally is AP automation really is the definition is a giant project that you're going to spend 6 months on, and then you're going to have somebody manage it full time at the end of it. And well, that is partially joking. There is some truth to that. A lot of AP automation projects are sort of big undertakings, and we're hoping to get away from that. And what I'm going to be showing you here today is how that paradigm is shifting in automation with new AI tools. So what has shifted? Specifically, invoice data capture has finally crossed what I call the accounting Turing test. And what I mean by that is the level of data capture on invoices is really just as good as what you can have a human go through and enter. And there's really no difference between the two at this point. Another big adaptation on this is machine learning is now able to learn GL coding and GL strings and make adjustments to those as time goes on as well. So again, another layer that can really improve the process end to end. Another thing that has changed recently is designing a workflow is no longer a big complex process. With the tools that we have today and with the tools that we're building, workflows are going to largely build themselves over the next months and years. And we're really at the forefront of that. And I'm excited to show you a bit how that works. And really, the biggest thing on all of this is a daunting setup period with a team of experts probably isn't super necessary anymore. A lot of the tools are going to be built in automatically, and the processes will take care of things automatically. So to sort of set the scene for what I see as going on right now is there's basically two wings of technology right now. There's AI and machine learning, and there's like different gradients of sophistication in AP automation tools. We're trying to bridge that gap. AI tools are great on their own. They don't necessarily have a use unless they're programmed to have a use. Obviously, OpenAI and the built-in Azure machine learning is super powerful. And all the other AP automation solutions out there can have lots of layers of sophistication. That's great and can be helpful. The problem is on the setup side of that and on the configuration side of that. We're trying to bridge that gap and do both, essentially, is what the new Fidesic AI-powered AP is designed to do. So why should you care about this? Before we get into the product, I always like to kind of set the scene on why you might care about this actually. And see if these are some of the things that stand out to you. These are the things that we can absolutely help out with. So if you're having difficulty hiring and keeping AP clerks on staff, that's something that we can absolutely help with. If you feel like your accounts payable department is perpetually behind, that's something else that we can help out with. And if you've tried to implement a different automation solution in the past and it hasn't worked out for whatever reason, I encounter that all the time in working with companies, so that's definitely something we can help with. If you feel like your AP is a black box, like you can't get any info in or out of it, what's going on, that is definitely something that we want to discuss here today. And if you're just worried about the future of GP generally, we know that GP's been around for a long time and Microsoft's pushing people to have some sort of migration strategy. You can greatly extend the life of your GP system and make sure that you have, world-class tools built into it without having to compromise anything. And that's a big thing of what I would like to show you here today. So another thing a reason why you should care is if you're focused on growth. One of the key things of implementing a solution for AP automation that allows you to grow without having to continually throw more people at the problem. That is a way that you can set up the system that enables that growth. More importantly, if you've got a lean team for AP, you're going to have better retention for the employees that you do have, and you're going to have happier employees. And the big note here is that it's smoothly scalable. The term that we throw around over here is AP as a service. So all those like entry, routing, those sorts of tasks can really be scaled up or scaled down depending on what you need as an organization. And that's one of the things that we really like to focus on here today. I don't like to talk about things like this without specific examples. A great success story that we have is a company called MB2 Dental. Over the past 3 years of working with us, they've grown from 150 entities / locations up to 500. So their growth has been tremendous. And throughout that time, they've been able to smoothly scale, as we talked about, without hitting roadblocks every step along the way. So they're sending 100% of their invoices through our system, through Capture. We have 99% accuracy in what I would call zero touch invoices. And what I mean by zero touch is you don't have to edit the transaction after it's been captured. You still want to validate it and take a look at it before you import it into GP, but you don't have to touch it. You don't have to modify it. And we're hitting 99% with them on that. Like I mentioned, they've been able to scale. And for those of you out there using binary streams, multi-entity management, this example, they do use that. And it's been a huge part of their process. And you'll see in our solution here that MEM is really built into the system from the ground up. So AI simplifies your setup, makes the setup processes earlier, less configuration, less maintenance, all good things. And like we talked about, you can also extend the life of GP. GP's got support well beyond 2028 from Microsoft, but you need to be proactive in adding tools to the system to make sure that you have the best of the best. And we try to build tools on top of GP that, you don't just get by, you'll actually thrive in GP. So our Fidesic process, quick overview before I hop into the actual process. First step in the process is we're going to capture your invoice data using AI tools. So I'll show you exactly what the output of that looks like. We're going to automatically route it for approval. We're going to allow you to approve those invoices in an easy fashion. And then the key thing to this is all of these routing, capture, adjustment, approval, that feeds back into our machine learning algorithm. And that's going to allow the invoice capture to be better the next time around. So we're going to continually improve and continually adapt and get better as your business grows and changes, and you don't have to micromanage that whole process. And then very importantly, the sync with GP is something that we take very seriously. We have a native integration with GP, and we'll show you exactly what that looks like. So for that AI capture, we have really unmatched accuracy. I think it's better than anything else that I've ever seen out there. You do not have to manage templates. You don't have to drag a little box over where the invoice number is or what the vendor is and map it. There is no mapping. It's zero touch. The AI learns, it fills out the data for you. And we do support multi-location capture, whether that is just for, individual locations that you have set up, or if you're actually using multi-entity management, we do have support for that as well. And then based on those capture fields, we can route them out and send them out for approval. So if I go over to Fidesic itself, I want to show you what this capture actually looks like. So I submitted this invoice prior to this demo here today, and this is the output of our OCR capture. Now, if you've seen other OCR demos, you'd probably expect me to show that you have to map things and this field links to this field and all things like that. That's not how our OCR works. It's truly standalone. It takes care of all the capture for you. This is truly the output based on this document that I submitted here. What you can see is a crappy printout that was a crumpled piece of paper that was scanned with the phone, converted to a PDF, and submitted for processing. This isn't a cherry-picked, easy-to-scan example. This is a pretty crappy piece of paper. So we have that. We can see that we captured the vendor. This will be linked to a vendor that you have in GP. We picked the actual remit to address because there's a remit to address section. We assigned it to the proper ship to region. We even dynamically GL coded it based on this individual location that it's submitted to. So the default GL code for this vendor isn't even this code. The code was adjusted because of the invoice or because of the location that was assigned to it. All of this is captured automatically. There is no need to adjust this. This is what I would deem a zero touch invoice in that 99% of invoices claim that I made earlier. So if you're all set on this invoice, you can approve it. It's going to be automatically routed out for approval. We can see that this is routed based on the vendor and routed based on the location. These will be dynamically changed as well as time goes on. Things are going to be routed. Approval is super simple. As you can see, I'm logged in. I can simply approve right from this window. And then that invoice is now ready to go to its next phase of approval and ready for export over to GP once it's in that approved status. So like I mentioned, a setup is really only as good as your integration with GP. Our integration is written in Dexterity. There's no connector, there's no third party necessary, and our import process works in a way that is designed around GP. And just to prove that to you, I've got my GP box open here and ready to go. My GP box does have mem installed on it. I'll create my transaction batch, and then through right in GP, our function is going to be get Fidesic vouchers, and that's what initiates the import process. And we will see our transaction ready for import here. So again, native integration, there's nothing that we have to do on it. And we can select our invoices, import them across, and those invoices are going to be automatically added to your batches within GP. So it really is that simple to import into GP. Those transactions will then be marked as exported in our system. And like I mentioned, you really didn't have to do much of anything at all. That's what I would deem a zero-touch process. It was automatically sent to the proper approvers. All the data was automatically captured. And really all you had to do is validate and import into GP. So we're super excited about our new wave of features and products. If you would like to get more info on how we can help out your GP system, reach out to us directly. You can reach us at sales@Fidesic, or feel free, contact me directly. Find me on LinkedIn, shoot me an email, schedule a meeting. I'd love to chat about it, especially if you're multi-location using MEM. That's certainly our specialty, and we can absolutely help you out. So thanks for attending, and thanks again, Microsoft Dynamics World. Take care, all.